What if you could build a machine that prints money? I'm not talking about one with metal plates and ink, but one made of silicon chips and pure code. Well, one man actually did it, and his story is completely upending the world of global finance. Let's dig in.
$12 billion. That's the estimated fortune of Alex Gerko, a math whiz who's now one of the wealthiest people in Britain. And get this, he's also the country's #1 taxpayer. So you gotta ask, how on earth did he pull that off?
Well, it all came down to a single, really bold bet he made years before any of us were playing around with ChatGPT. The idea was actually pretty simple, but it was totally revolutionary. In high-speed trading, being smarter is way, way better than just being faster. Now, to really get how radical that idea was, you have to understand the world he was walking into. For years, electronic trading was just this brutal, expensive arms race for pure speed. But Gerko, he came along and started a whole new kind of war.
This really breaks it down perfectly. You have the old race, which was all about physics. Companies were building microwave networks just to shave a few milliseconds off their time. It was a zero-sum game. But the new race, Gerko's race, is a battle of brainpower. It's about building these huge AI data centers where the only thing that matters is prediction. It's a totally different game.
And Gerko basically looked at that whole speed obsession and just said, nope, we're out. While everybody else was zigging, pouring billions into faster cables, he zagged. He bet everything on intelligence instead. He was effectively telling the entire industry, you guys can keep playing your game, we're gonna go play a different one.
So if he wasn't playing the speed game, then what exactly was his machine doing? How does an AI actually trade and wind up making billions of dollars?
The secret sauce is a technology called deep learning. The simple way to think about it is that it uses these complex computer programs that kind of mimic a human brain. And their job is to chew through absolute mountains of financial data to find hidden patterns, the little clues that can help predict where prices are going to move next. Now, to power an engine like that, you need an insane amount of horsepower. XTX Markets uses over 25,000 of these super powerful AI chips, mostly from Nvidia, and that's just to train its models.
And these chips aren't just sitting in a closet somewhere. We're talking about $1 billion+ investment in custom-built data centers. They actually built them in places like Iceland and Finland, just so they could use the cold climate and geothermal energy to keep this giant AI brain from overheating. The scale of this operation is just incredible.
So the whole process works in this constant 4-step cycle. First, the system sucks in massive amounts of data. Second, it uses all those thousands of chips to train itself. Third, the AI starts making its predictions, forecasting price moves seconds, minutes, even hours ahead of time. And finally, step 4, the machine automatically executes the trades based on those predictions, all around the globe. And the result of all that? Get ready for this. XTX trades an average of $250 billion every single day. But you know what's truly mind-bending? This entire global operation is run by a tiny team of just 250 people.
A machine on this scale is just wow. But it didn't just appear out of thin air. It took a very particular kind of person, a real maverick, to dream it up and then actually build it.
Alex Gerko's life story is pretty fascinating. He was born in Soviet Moscow and went to a special school for math prodigies. He goes on to get a PhD in mathematics, moves to London, and in 2015, he founds XTX. Then, after the invasion of Ukraine, he renounces his Russian citizenship, and just a year later, he becomes the single biggest taxpayer in the entire UK.
And he's definitely not your typical quiet, behind-the-scenes billionaire. He's famously outspoken, and he'll actually call out his rivals right on LinkedIn. But at the same time, he's a massive philanthropist, pouring his fortune into his biggest passion, math education. He even founded his own school for gifted children. You see, for him, this is deeply personal. He sees math as the very thing that allowed him to go from what he calls an underprivileged background to where he is today. And he's really passionate about creating that same path for other people. And just to give you a little sense of his personality, he is an extremely hands-on manager, always on the company's Slack channels. And his avatar? Sometimes it's a giant floating head from the show Rick and Morty. Other times, it's the cosmic supervillain Thanos. That kind of tells you everything you need to know, right? Unconventional and probably pretty formidable. So as you can imagine, Gerko's success has not gone unnoticed. His huge bet sent shockwaves through the entire industry, and it's forcing absolutely everyone to rethink what the future of trading is going to look like. Remember that new arms race we talked about, the one for smarts? Well, it is in full swing now. XTX's competitors, huge firms like Jane Street, are pouring billions of dollars into their own AI systems, just trying desperately to catch up. The whole industry is being dragged into this new era. And this right here is the biggest takeaway of this whole story. For decades, the dominant force in finance was speed. Who could get information from A to B a microsecond faster? That era is over. It's done. The new race, the one that will define the next chapter of finance, is all about intelligence. It's a competition to see who can build the smartest, most predictive, most sophisticated machine on the planet. And this whole shift leaves us with a really profound question. At a company like XTX, almost nobody is a trader in the traditional sense. They're mathematicians and engineers who are basically overseeing an algorithm. So as these machines just get smarter and smarter, what happens to the human role in all of this? In a future that's run by AI, what does it even mean to be a trader?